Las Vegas. Thank you for joining us again on Realty Check. If you are watching our show, you're following our show, you like what we're putting out there, please take a moment to like, comment, share, tell your friends about it. Download our episodes so you won't miss anything. If you're following us on iTunes or YouTube, you can follow or download. And every Thursday when we post a new show, you will get alerted that we have something new out there for you. So this is your local Las Vegas real estate news show from the professionals. So you get to hear it straight from the source of the people out there, boots on the ground in real estate. And today we have some great guests. We have Hendrix from the Hendrix Belknap Group, Keller Williams Realty. Yeah. Jay, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself real quick?
We've been at KW for about 2 years. I've been in business about 4. My wife's been in about 10. We're a small family team there, and your office, by the way.
It's not my office, but we're there together.
Yeah, we're there together. That's right, we are.
Yes.
Yeah, we just love it. We love helping people. So.
Yeah, you guys are awesome, so thank you. And we have Nikki Ganger with the Chaffin Group, Realty ONE Group. And Nikki, thank you so much for being on the show, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely, thank you for having us. So I'm Nikki Ganger. I am with the Chaffin Group at Realty ONE. I am actually a fresh agent. I've actually been in the industry for a whopping 1 year.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm learning so much that I definitely love it. The only thing that I kind of kick myself about is I wish I would have jumped in way sooner.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a fun time to learn.
But you're out there. You're always going after it. I see you working hard, so you're going to do great. So
Thank you.
I really know. I feel like I have a special skill of seeing potential in people.
I love
Got it. So we start off every show talking about current single-family inventory. Single-family inventory. That's how many single-family homes are on the market, Las Vegas and Henderson this week. We raised a little bit by about 400 since last week. So right now, this week, we have 3,933 single-family homes on the market. Still, again, I've been saying this for months now, is like, 6,000 and above or 8,000 and above is when it shifts to a buyer's market. We're nowhere near that. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I definitely think that I'm noticing a little bit of a difference as far as competition goes. I've been dealing with a few of my clients, and in some of the offers that we have, I'm noticing that there's not as much competition as far as offers go. I'm sure that's not the situation in every circumstance, but you can see it shifting a little bit, which gives you hope for the buyers. So
it does.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Isn't it so much nicer working with buyers when you can actually find a home?
Oh yeah.
Yes. That is good. I'm sure it feels better to be a buyer when you can find a home.
Oh yeah.
It does. It's even better when you're a realtor, when you're helping a buyer that can actually find a home. So it feels good for everybody.
Yeah.
I think it's we're moving in the right direction, I believe, to more of a balanced market. However, we are all seeing where, the homes that are just really beautiful in the really hot areas, it's still, a little difficult on that. Unfortunately, it just is what it is. But there's homes out there, I always say, it just takes a minute, so just relax, take a breath, let us do our jobs. We're going to put you on some good homes.
Yeah, absolutely. And this week we had 428 price reductions. It was hovering around the 500s last week. So we're really that number's not changing much, going down a little bit. That's great. But what I've been saying is I feel like the price reductions are just people coming down to reality that they can overprice. Is this where, are you guys on board with that? Is that what you feel like is going on too?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I have a couple of the deals that I'm working with. They had some price reductions on the house that we were actually wanting to put offers in, but we were kind of waiting because we knew it was not being realistic. So we kind of waited a moment, and within like 2 days, we noticed them decreasing, which was definitely good because it was a humbling moment for them, I think.
and that's where I feel like I've been with sellers too. Is sometimes they're like, hey, my neighbor sold the house for $40,000 above list, and I want to do that too. And then first 2-3 days, they're like, whoa, there's not like 20,000 showings. What's going on? There's no line outside the door like it was for them. It's like, yeah, because the market changed. We're not there anymore. So we do need to adjust, and we do need to stay realistic. It's it would be great, but it's just I hate to say miss the boat, but kind of miss that boat. It's already sailed.
Yeah. It's still a great time to buy and sell real estate. It just is. Even though we're coming into this sort of like, maybe there's not as many transactions happening right this minute. This is normally the way it is. We slow down a little bit. Everybody's not looking to move their family at Thanksgiving or Christmas, right? That's just not what they're doing. However, the people that are out there now, what I find is they're focused. Man, we're ready. I mean, we're still seeing people relocate to Las Vegas. We're having some people from Savannah, Georgia, and literally inside of a week, boom. Yeah. We're under contract on a house. So I mean, so they're very focused people out there right now. It's a great time. I do think that talking about I think everybody thinks there's supposed to be that long line outside the house and all that kind of stuff, and that made us sort of think too. Hey, I can just really push the market, and that's not where we are right now. And that's what we're always saying. Or I'm always saying to my clients, listen, the market's always changing. That's what we're here for, right?
Yeah.
So we know how to adjust the strategies. So as the market changes, our clients are still in the best position possible.
Yeah, because no matter what you do, you can't sell in yesterday's market. You have to sell in today's market.
Boy, wouldn't that be nice?
And if you sold a home, I tell this to people often, especially for sell by owners and things like that, people that want to sell their own home.
Sure.
And they say, well, I've done this before. I sold my own home about 15 years ago. And I tell them, if you sold your own home 3 months ago, you still don't know today's market.
That's right.
Yeah. And that is, in any case, as long as I've been in real estate, that's exactly how it is. Our market is constantly changing. So only the agents that are active and working and in the business every day really know the market of today. And that is, it's interesting. It's not like selling a car. So I'm going to jump to the end of our questions, or one of our last questions before I get into the other ones, because we're going to talk about Zillow. Don't worry, people. We're going to talk about them. But before we get into that, since we're already talking about the market, I want to go into this question is, I feel like right now we have a current slowdown, but again, my personal perspective on that is every year around July, August, it's seasonality. I've been in real estate for 7 years. I've seen it every year. This time of year slows down. I'm really not concerned about it. I hate to brush it off that easily, but not concerned about any of that. But do you think this is a actual calm down, like we're seeing an adjustment in the market? Or do you think this is a calm before the storm? Do you feel like next year, 2022, is gonna go gangbusters again?
I feel like, in my professional opinion, I think we can all agree that we've seen as a city so much growth between, sports arenas and casinos and new home development. I really feel like we're also dealing with a lot of influx from California and other states that I think we just keep seeing that happening. And if it continues, I really think we're going to end up seeing continued demand, which I think will really just end up continuing the increase in pricing as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Vegas is still a great, even though our prices have gone up this year, we're still affordable when you compare us to other places. I mean, I think I really think it's a great value for what you get in Vegas. So what are your thoughts, Jay?
I agree. I think we're going to see another good year. Now, do I think? I mean, we've all been just talking about it, right? Is the market going to be the same as it is today? It's not. It's not. So next year is going to have its own things. I think we're going to start to maybe see the bad thing of maybe interest rates going up a little bit. So that's going to change. That's going to have an effect on the market. It's just going to have an effect on how people perceive the market, right?
Right.
And what it's going to actually cost. So but I agree with her. I think Las Vegas is a great place. I mean, we're all here. I mean, I love Las Vegas. My family loves Las Vegas. We've had opportunities to move other places, but we love Las Vegas.
I love Las Vegas
and
too.
I think what other people find. They come here and go, we didn't realize there is a community outside of the Strip.
Right.
Hey, and it's great.
Do you
So-
ever go to the Strip? As a local, I was born and raised in Las Vegas. I've always lived here. I mean, the only time I ever go to the Strip is if like someone's in from out of town and they want to go play tourist. Like, we don't go to the Strip, and it's so that amazes me that so many people from other states think that like the Strip is Vegas.
Well, the best is
We
whenever
we all live in hotels, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that the best is whenever you're on like a plane with someone and they're from, like Nebraska, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you live in Vegas? You live in a casino?"
Sure.
And I'm like,
Sure.
"Uh-huh,
Yeah.
totally, yeah,
Yeah.
I live in a casino." No, there's totally normal communities out here. There's suburbs and normal life. You don't have to be on the Strip and enduring all the entertainment if you don't want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna date myself for a minute, but when I was younger, there was this like it was called a teen talk line where like all these teens would like call in this like group call thing on a telephone, an actual like wired telephone that was plugged into the wall.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
There
pretty
you go.
crazy.
Oh my gosh.
But there was no internet, right? So I remember talking to these other kids from like all over the country. And I said, I lived in Las Vegas, and they were like, oh, yeah, what casino do you live in? I said, no, I live in a house. And they were, you're lying. All these kids are like, you're lying.
That's
not
impossible.
true.
That is really funny. I actually have I have a small funny story. My fiance, he actually is from Iowa and Chicago, and his family, they moved out here from there. And so while their home was being built, because he has a pretty large family, there's 11 siblings total. So they had to have a actual home custom built for them. So during that time, they actually lived in the Luxor. And my fiance at the time was in high school. So he would invite his friends over and they're like, where's your house at? And he's like, the Luxor. And people were like, what? The Luxor? So he kind of had a cool little like 6-month stint where he legit lived in a casino.
That's pretty awesome.
That is
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. Yep. So, I mean, again, Vegas still has so much to attract.
Oh, yeah.
So much to attract, so much potential. And the city's growing. Our economy's getting better. We have more high net worth individuals than we've ever had in this city. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like our housing market is in trouble.
No.
So I hope I'm right. But I just don't see it.
Well, I will say this. Sometimes I do get concerned when we have like the first time home buyers and they're, it's a little challenging, for them. And, some of the programs aren't there right now. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we'll get some of those back. That'll help that kind of thing. Because I do think since our market did take sort of that step ahead, it sort of made that, that entry level houses has become a little more challenging, I think.
It has. It's become more challenging to get, and we still have, even right now during, with everything slowing down a little bit, if you list anything under 300,000, it's still gone in minutes because the investors' rent prices are skyrocketed.
That's right.
And investors are like, those are great rental properties. So you're still fighting in those first-time home buyer homes. You're still fighting against cash investors.
That's right.
And speaking of cash investors, this is a great time to start talking about the big Z. So Zillow, the big Z. We all know Zillow, right? So Zillow's been in the news a lot and in the real estate news a lot. And I feel kind of bad, like celebrating failure, but it's, kind of makes you feel good when you see it just because of the relationship that us as realtors have had with Zillow, right?
Yeah.
It's been hard. I feel like for the past couple of years, we've been fighting against them and trying to explain to the consumers that hey, selling your house to Zillow might not be the best idea, and Zillow will come in and not just Zillow, the other iBuyers are guilty of it as well. They come in and they price your home. They say, oh, we'll give you this much because they know that that's what a realtor is going to comp it at. And then they knock them down, later on the inspections and everything. But they have been, really, they've been a big competitor in business for us over these last couple of years because of them raising their prices, raising their offers. So now their shares have dropped. They're year to date 37%. Just recently another 8.6%. They're offboarding 7,000 homes in a package, in a bundle package, and they're getting out of the real estate game and going back to like selling leads to realtors, and they're done with flipping houses and all this stuff that we knew wasn't a good idea, or I knew all along it wasn't a good idea, but they're finally dipping out. I heard a quote that said that they said, selling real estate, I don't know if this quote's exact, of course, but selling real estate's easy. It's the people that are difficult. So what do you guys think about all this?
I was just reading an article about Zillow saying that they overloaded themselves, and most of their homes are actually underwater right now just from mismanaging their systems. I'm assuming probably because they bought an abundance of homes at a really hot peak time, and now they're trying to sell them off when the market has kind of slowed down and shifted a little bit. So I think it could be where maybe they see something on the horizon that we don't see, but I think the more likely situation is that they probably are just in over their heads and are kind of drowning at this moment.
I think that the difference in, doing a flipping business, and I think, if you, I watched the president talk, he did about a 3-minute video, just talking through their thought process. They believed that they could see what a house was going to be worth with a high degree of accuracy 6 months out. So they could buy it, they could renovate it, and then they would know exactly what the appreciation is. And I think we all know, and I think most people have heard this, it's one of these rules in real estate that you can maybe bend it a little bit, but you certainly can't break it. And Zillow just proved you cannot break it. On investments, you make money when you buy, not when you sell.
Right.
Sales when you realize it, absolutely, right? That's when they hand me the check. But the money that I make is how I buy it. And they went past that. They said, okay, it's not how I buy it, it's how I sell it and how I extrapolate that number out there. And I think after, I don't know how many thousands of homes they did, it was proven out that doesn't work. We have to go back to the way it's always been is in investments, it's about how you buy it, not when you sell it.
Are they going to dip out of the real estate game? Actually earlier in this week, when I put together this, the show, the questions, I was like, are they going to dip out completely? Because they said they weren't buying homes. They're going to do flipping for the rest of the year, start back up. Then they announced, we're going back to selling leads to realtors because that's what we know will work because they know, realtors want leads. So that business has been doing well for them. But that, I think they lost a lot of their realtors in this whole thing when they started, becoming a competitor to the people they were selling leads to. A lot of people dipped out. There were a lot of realtors that stayed and kept paying them. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think Zillow's going to be sticking around for a while, or do you think that they're just humbly going to start going away?
I don't think they're going to humbly start going away. I think there's room in real estate's huge, and we were talking earlier before the show. There's a lot of different ways for all of us to do well in real estate. I think as far as Zillow goes, they've got $4.7 billion of cash sitting on the sidelines. They're going to sell these 7,000 homes for I think around $2.8 billion. So that means they're going to have about $7 billion of cash sitting around there. It's going to be interesting to see how they reposition that cash and get it back into the market. So I don't think it's not going to be through flipping, but it's probably going to be through something else.
Yeah.
I don't know what it'd be.
Selling leads to realtors, improving their tech systems, all that stuff. They are really good at that. Sure. I mean, they are, they've really controlled that, like marketing, everybody when they are looking for a home. I mean, clients all the time go to Zillow, even though, sometimes the home's already sold or under contract.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time, yeah. It's really not quite up to date, but that's, it's okay. We'll see. Time will tell, right?
Absolutely.
But I don't think that's, I've heard a couple people saying, well, is Zillow backing out of the market because the market's crashing? I think it has nothing to do with it. I just think that my personal feelings on it is they didn't respect the profession enough to realize that there's seasonalities and shifts that seasoned agents and experienced agents know and see, because there's many times, even during the peak of our market this year, I looked at offers from Zillow and I said, how can they possibly be making money on this? Why are they buying this home at this price? Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like lack of knowledge, I think. I think they just came in, they probably thought they were going to do really well. Obviously, they wouldn't have jumped in it if they didn't think otherwise. But I think, like we said earlier, it's just a humble sit back where they're realizing that they probably should have left it to people who really do know the market in and out. But kind of like you said, I feel like Zillow, they're obviously a great company. They have done good things. So I'm sure that one day they'll probably end up jumping into something a little bit different, but maybe take their time figuring it out before they actually jump into it. So we'll see, right?
Right, absolutely. Do you guys feel like other iBuyers are going to follow suit?
To me, I think, we just talked about it. I think in the iBuyers thing, I think they look the same way we do. There's local iBuyers that we all know and, that we have confidence in, that they understand. They have a buy box. They understand exactly what they're looking for. They can communicate it to me so I can help them look for it. I think those guys are always going to win the day because they locally have the knowledge. When we always love to say AI, right, all that stuff. In the end, in our areas where we're the expert, that we know that area, we can beat the AI because we're actually talking to the people. We know how they feel. We know what's on their minds. We know what's happening in their families. We know what's happening in their communities.
We know why they move into this
there
area.
There you go. That's
why are they
exactly
there?
Right.
What
That's
people
exactly right.
like this area. And that another thing with the iBuyers, I don't feel like they need to go away completely. There's a time. There's those houses. There's some houses where we need an iBuyer. But the thing is, in the past, iBuyers have always been, they come in, it's a very low offer, it's below market value, it's cash, it's as is. But everyone's understanding and what the whole purpose of it is. Mm-hmm. This year, things changed with that because these iBuyers are coming in acting like they're regular home buyers, and these offers were crazy, and it was making things, it muddied the waters, and it just showed up, it showed up that wasn't a good idea.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So, I do feel like they're going to stay around, but they're going to do what they used to do.
I think so too. I think obviously Zillow has said, look, we leaned way too much on technology. I think obviously we're all using technology and we're all using it to leverage ourselves. You have to be careful that you don't over leverage yourself in this situation. But I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And with that, we are definitely seeing some different, changes or whatever going on in the market with rentals. Yeah. We have a rental shortage. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys have talked to renters lately. I've talked to a few, and it is so crazy how hard it is for people to find somewhere out there. Yeah. We're literally in a time again where it is more affordable to own a home than rent a home. It is more affordable to buy a home than to get in a rental in many cases. Yeah. One of the things that I see that's concerning is I'm starting to hear about and talk to families that they're families, they're working, they have income. Mm-hmm. They are, maybe they had a hardship over the last year and they couldn't pay rent. Maybe they have, their landlords just decided to sell because the prices, they want to, sell while the market's where it's at. Different reasons they've had to move out into other rentals and lower credit, lower things. They're not finding places to live. Yeah. I feel like might be facing a homeless issue that's not, that is actual families with children that are working that just can't find somewhere to live. Do you guys see that, or are you concerned about it?
Yeah, I feel like I know exactly what you're talking about. I feel like the restrictions to actually move in, or the requirements to move into a rental, I almost feel like has tightened. I don't know if you guys feel the same way.
No, it has tightened.
It is sad because the prices have gone up. It's tightening. There's been a lot that people have gone through in 2020, and still into 2021. I think we're always going to face some type of homelessness in all cities, but I do overall think that we're kind of walking in uncharted waters. The one thing that I do notice, though, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I've been noticing a lot more affordable housing projects that are being built around the city. And so hopefully that will somewhat get ahead of some potential homelessness and try to, not make the situation worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's difficult in getting people in rentals. I mean, it's very difficult. We certainly have a shortage of that. I think, though, you're seeing whole communities being built for rent now. It's build to rent.
Yeah.
I think that's going to
It's gonna catch
hopefully
up.
help us catch up.
Right.
But I think we're way behind, just like you said. But I don't know what the answer is.
It's a problem. No, I don't know what the answer is too. It's a problem that we didn't see coming, but I'm seeing it right now being a problem, and it's just concerning me. I'm like, where is this going to go? There's no, I've had people ask me, there's no, if there's programs, if there's something out there for this. And it's not, in all cases, it's not even an affordability issue. These people have income they can do, credit. You have bad credit, it's like we can't fix this problem instantly, but it's going back and like really just letting these people know that like, home ownership is so much more secure than being in a rental, because you never know when that landlord's going to say, I'm selling. And it's so, it's so hard. And it puts people in an issue. It's really, just getting awareness out there of how important it is to get on track of getting towards home ownership or getting there as soon as possible. But it is, in the time being, when they have 30 days to move, that's there's nothing we can do about that right now. Before we close out today, we are going into the holiday season. So a lot of people and a lot of sellers think, oh no, I don't want to list during this time of year because it's, not a great seller's market. Sometimes people need to list, and sometimes there's benefits to listing during the holiday season. What do you guys feel like are some of the benefits?
So I think, kind of like what you said, a lot of sellers out there would probably prefer not to list their home because they don't want people, from the public being able to access their property for showings. They're most likely holding family gatherings and events, and don't really want people to see the chaos of them packing. So I think a lot of that gets postponed until after the first of the year. But for those people who are actually wanting to list their home during this time, I feel like there's huge advantages because, for one, we're already dealing with really low inventory. And as we enter into these next couple of months, approaching those holidays, the inventory really does start to lessen even more. So I think that, there's still a lot of active buyers out there. They want a home before the holidays hit. So I think that it does kind of create lower supply but higher demand for those people that are actually listing their home. And I think that just will attract more offers and hopefully higher offers at that point.
Yep, absolutely.
I actually walked in yesterday into a home where I saw my very first Christmas tree at the season. I thought normally it's like around Thanksgiving you start to see that, but I guess we were getting a jump on it.
They started
but
soon.
It was funny. So we walked in, and the clients were like, "Oh, look at their tree," and it was so beautiful. And you know what? Because I knew you'd sent this question out. I think it's one of the real opportunities where normally we depersonalize homes to list them, right? This is a great opportunity to really show how homey your home is. I know it sounds a little funky, but because the lady was just sitting there going, "Oh, I can see our kids here and the Christmas tree." And I was like I was totally going like, of course, I didn't expect a Christmas tree in the house, just to be honest with you. So I wasn't totally ready for that one. However, it was, I really came away thinking exactly this question going, this really is a great opportunity to really showcase your home in a time, in a way that you really wouldn't be able to do it in any other time of the year.
Right.
That's a really good point.
Christmas tree, even fireplace. In
Oh,
Vegas,
fireplaces.
we never use the fireplace, but you turn that on for a
that thing
showing,
on.
and it's just, it's the
It lights up the
whole
room.
ambiance of everything. It just gives you that
It really
home,
does.
where home feeling. It really does. I feel like it emotionally hits the buyer.
That's it. It really does. It lets them connect to the home.
Yeah.
And man, you can really see it when somebody comes into a house and they really connect with this home or this community. You really see, man, they're just like, all right, let's do
brings
it. Let's do this
memories.
thing. Yep.
Yeah, no, it does. I feel like that's true. And I also think that the buyers that are shopping during the winter seasons are probably more motivated.
They are.
There are a group of buyers, which I feel, I feel so strongly that this group of buyers needs to be larger. There should be more buyers shopping this season than spring. Why do people wait till spring? Do they like competing against other people? Like, what's going on there? But
it's a great time.
There is a group of buyers that are shopping during this season, and they seem to be more motivated than usual. And they're also, a lot of them are on the timeline. They are determined to buy before the first of the year hits. So I feel like you have more motivated buyers. They're a lot more committed to the outcome, and it's not a bad time to list.
Yeah. Not at all.
Well, so May in the year, May is the most people come that relocate to our city in May for jobs and things like that.
Okay.
The second is December.
Yeah.
So those people, they're like, hey, I got a job. I got to get the kids in school before they start back up in January. Hey, and so that goes to those focused, motivated buyers, right? They're relocating from, yesterday we relocated somebody from Savannah, Georgia to Las Vegas. So, it's just, it's a great time. It really is.
There are buyers out there. Yeah.
They certainly are.
Absolutely. Well, guys, it's been a great show. I did have a couple more questions that we did not get to, but that's okay. We had a lot to talk about. So, Jay, how do people reach you if they want to get a hold of you?
Well, we're at the Keller Williams Marketplace. We're the Hendrix Belknap Group. You can reach me at jhendrix, my last name, .hbg@gmail.com.
And his info's on the screen, too.
It is. It's right there on the screen. So, you can just reach me right there.
Right there. You want to tell people your phone number for the people that are listening?
Yeah, it's 702-335-6077.
All right. Awesome. Nikki, how do people get a hold of you?
So I'm, again, located at Realty ONE Group. We're on St. Rose and Eastern. If you ever want to pop in, feel free. Otherwise, if you'd like to chit-chat, my phone number is 702-715-2380. And my Instagram handle is Nikki, Nikki _ your Vegas homegirl.
Oh, I love it. I love that. Yeah. And you guys know how to reach me. Trish Williams, you can always call me 702-308-2878. I look forward to seeing you guys next week on Realty Check. And please take a moment, like, comment, share, send us a review. We'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next Thursday.